Hi there. So I'm going to share with you the story of Tropic, how it came about, and Susie Ma's story, because it really is a fantastic story. So what happened was Susie is Chinese, but she grew up in Australia. And she used to go into a garden, which happened to be the rainforest, and pick all sorts of lovely tropical ingredients such as avocado, aloe vera, and berries, and all sorts of things to make her own skincare range, because she was always aware that what you put on your skin is likely to end up in your bloodstream. And it's actually up to 70% of what you put on your skin. So she was, from a very young age, always very aware of this. So she'd only make her own skincare range. And she's always said she'd never put anything on her skin that she wouldn't eat. But unfortunately, all was not well in the Garden of Eden. And when she was 13, her parents divorced. And her and her mum spun this globe to work out where to move to. And it ended up on Britain. So they came over, which was a pretty tough thing to do because the mum didn't even speak English. And they ended up at Victoria Station and they phoned their friends and they said, we could come and stay. Well, we're here. And the friends were like, we were joking, and put the phone down. So they had a bit of a struggle to begin with. Susie had to register herself in school. She had to do all the translations, had to sort out somewhere to live, a bank account, all of this. And so it was a bit of a struggle. But roll on 2 years and Susie decided to have a stall at Greenwich Market because she's always made her own skincare range. And she had one product, which was the Body Smooth. And she decided to get 50 jam jars from eBay. She had homemade labels and signs printed off the school printer. She had spatulas from the doctor, and she had a big sign saying, "I made this, please try me." So lots of people walked past, not interested. And she really had to persevere. But as soon as someone stopped and they tried it and they felt how smooth their hands were and how gorgeous it smelled, they bought it. By the end of the day, Susie's denim skirt pockets were bulging with £980 in cash. And so she went home to her mum and she said, "I'm going to buy you a house." This 15-year-old girl. And lo and behold, 4 years later, after spending every weekend at Greenwich Market in the wind, the rain, the snow, she saved enough for a deposit. She put herself through college as well. And, this is kind of shows the perseverance of this young lady. But she'd always been kind of told about the importance of having goals. So ever since she grew up, her and her mum put these pictures of houses on the wall of something that they wanted one day, because they had been living out of a one-roomed flat. But Susie, bless her, she put her mind into it, and she managed to buy a deposit get a deposit for a house. Now, after she'd graduated from college, she was told, "You need to get a proper job now." So she went to work in the city, where she lasted all of 12 weeks before realising she was going to do far more harm to the economy than good. And so she applied to go on The Apprentice. Now, not sure. I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, are going to at least know The Apprentice, even if you haven't seen it. Well, she was the youngest ever contestant, 2011. And she was unfortunately bullied by some of the other contestants because she was so young and she didn't have the assertiveness then to stand up for herself. But Alan, he had his eye on her. He liked what he saw. But when it came to the interview stage, she was fired for saying she'd do £1 million in the first year. And they were like, "No way." And Alan didn't know a huge amount about beauty, and so he followed the guys and he fired her. She was absolutely devastated. She was going to go back to Australia because she thought, "I failed in front of all these millions and millions of people. I can't cope with this when it comes out." And her mum and her grandmother actually convinced her to stay. And she just worked full time because this was her chance to actually show them what Tropic was all about. So for the first time in her life, she spent all of her time just doing Tropic. And then amazingly, when it was aired at the show was aired, she ended up doing £10,000 in that hour after The Apprentice had been shown, which was amazing. But Alan kind of, I don't know whether he'd kept his eye on her, but at the after show party, tapped her on the shoulder and says, "I really like your products. Can my wife try them?" So they took them home to Lady Anne Sugar, who used to use creme de la mer, £1,340 for a little pot of moisturiser each. Needless to say, she fell in love with Tropic. She threw creme de la mer out, and she's used Tropic ever since. So Alan goes back to Susie and says, "How much do you want for 50% of the business?" And she said the amount on The Apprentice, which is £200,000. So he wrote her a cheque there and then. She then kicked herself for not asking for more, but they went into a business together. They've never put anything else extra into the business since then. And remember why she got kicked off The Apprentice? Well, they were quite right not to believe her doing 1 million her first year, because she actually did 2 million. And it's a phenomenal success story. Alan is blown away. He hasn't seen growth like it since the 1980s. And since then, we've actually won over 53 awards, which is incredible. But I'm going to show you more of the awards later on. I'm just going to share this video with you now. Okay, thank you.